Thinking of the new Dora Wings Fairey Delta 2? Want to see someone build it? Keep watching and I'll show you how it's done right here on Gary's Stuff. Hi, I'm Gary and welcome to this build of the brand new Fairey Delta 2 in 1/72nd scale from Dora Wings. If you just want to know what you get in the box, a companion in-box review is already available on the channel. This kit was very kindly sent to me by Dane Stewart. He purchased the kit online from the Model Workshop. If you like the video, you can support the channel for free by giving it a thumbs up on the like button and by subscribing to the channel. Make sure to hit the bell to be notified of all my future content. Links to other ways to support the channel are in the information box below. Let's see how I made this Fairey Delta 2. By the ejection seats, the padded seat goes on first. Yeah. So, I think it's not enormously clear how this all. Oh, I see. Right, okay. And this, and the back goes on. Back goes on there, and so front of it sits very slightly proud of the chair sides. Let me get that together. Like that. Then we can. Sorry, I've lost track of it there. And go, just put that in there. Then the top box goes in here, like so. I'm guessing it's a top box. It doesn't really look much like a top box, but it's going to be. Okay, and then dust of glue, and the other half of the seat goes in place. Then when the seat is dried, it can go into place in the cockpit, like so. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll let that all settle down and then spray it all black, do the seats in olive drab, put the decals in for the straps. Then I'll also spray and do a detail bit of brushing on the control panel. Then when that's all done, put that in, and then the cockpit area will be pretty much complete. Okay, I'm going to do some dry brushing now. A lot of people ask me about this, so I'll just go over it again. What I've done is I've got some Vallejo. I'm going to show you this is how old this bottle is. It's 72001, I think. It's dead white. But it's a really thick paint. Okay, so load up that onto an old sort of scabby sort of brush that's falling apart like this. Okay, load it up in a bit, let it dry for a bit. And you can see if you've got something a bit wood or whatever that the part is on, you can brush it until it hardly leaves anything. Then it's right, because we want to work in really small amounts of paints here and then just brush across everything, and it picks up edges, it picks up detail, all those instruments there. So if you're doing an open cockpit, you're going to want to use even less paint than this. This is going into a closed cockpit, so it doesn't matter. The edges need to be a bit more pronounced than they are otherwise. But if you're going into doing a open cockpit, you want to be a bit more gentle, a bit more like this. See, I haven't reloaded any paint onto the brush. since I started, and it's still leaving little bits of paint on the part. And you can just keep doing that and just build it up to as much as you want. Harder or softer, whatever, but again, see, still haven't used any more paint. Use a tiny, tiny, tiny amount onto a palette or onto wherever you mix your paints. And there we go. Then what you can do, obviously, with a very small brush is just add in a few sort of dots and lines and whatever to make it look like an instrument panel, and that's done. Likewise, the instruments or the settings on the side can have a few tiny dots of colour here and there, really, really small dots of colour, and that's sorted. So what I'm going to do next is paint the ejection seat pads, the actual pad and the back and the headrest. I think the headrest gets painted. I mean, bits that get painted like olive green or olive drab or whatever. Put the decals on, and then that'll be ready for the rest of the build. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do for the last thing I've got to do for the cockpit is put the instrument panel in. Problem is trying to do these things when you're also trying to film. It can be really quite a fiddle. There we go. Really quite a fiddle. Now, I don't know if that sits on top or behind it. Looks like it sits behind, like so. I'm going to now, I can put this into the side of the nose. These parts really are very small. There we go. Like so. Yep, that actually feels really quite good. So I'll put some glue into those, and then I'll put the other half of the nose on when this is settled in. And that's it. Okay, we'll leave that to set, and then we'll put the other half of the nose on, and then put the canopy on, put the canopy mask on, and then leave it alone until we come to spray everything, because I want to put this somewhere safe so I don't break this damn nose probe. There are going to be another couple of aerials and stuff like that to go on as well later on. So, ridiculously small paint mask. In fact, I'm going to put on my close-up glasses for this because I cannot see these at all. Okay, I've just put these sort of PVC little mask elements on the plane, and I'm just going to go just sort of touch up the edges a little bit, sort of burnish the edges with this really sort of fine tips cotton bud. It's the kind of thing they use in nail bars apparently to clean up nails. I mean, you buy them in packs of like 100 or something for almost nothing, really cheap. However, they're really good for doing things like this. So you can sort of push the bits into the corners properly without disturbing the whole piece. Also, really, really useful for cleaning out airbrushes. If you want to do a decent clean on the airbrush, these are really useful. And then when you've finished with them and they've done their job, you can just snap them off, and then you've got a wooden stick. You can keep them. You have endless uses of wooden sticks for like holding bits of thing while you spray them and paint them and whatever. Really useful. Don't just throw them away, but break off the end and use the wood for something else. Yeah. Anyway, so those are done. I'll just cut those off the frame now and put them onto the fuselage. Right, now to the main fuselage. On each side, you're going to put the outer part of the air inlet for the engine in here. It's good that you can do it this way because if you want to, you can then tidy up the inside of the inlet, sort of fill it a bit. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. To be honest with you, I don't know how much you see it from the front, to be fair. I'll have a look once I have put my glue in and have, I'll show you that one. Make sure it's in properly. Am I going to see that little thing? I don't know. I'm going to notice that actually. Do you know? I'm in two minds because I want to make a nice job of this, but you know, the day is only so long. The other half, by the way, of the air inlet goes in here, and you should just get that. So that bleed, the boundary layer bleed goes there. That should be fitting on there. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to chicken out and not do it. I'll put this other piece in instead, and get on. Right, the jet pipe, I've already painted burnt iron on the inside, and that comes together into halves, like so. So we just glue that up. Then the tailpipe can go into the aircraft. There's a little tab for it to sit into. There's that. That. The wing spar can go through here. And then this is the nose gear bay goes in as well. So then the other half of the fuselage can go on. Incidentally, I would point out here these two part numbers are the wrong way around. That's D12, that's E22. But yeah, it doesn't make much difference, but just would be nice if it was right. Moving on to the wings now, they just come in two halves. These line up quite easily and we'll just glue it together. There is the elephant and flaps section which goes in here, but we'll do that when these are dried up. The wings, once they're set, can then, it's a very tight fit to slot onto the spar, which I guess is a good thing, and then sit into place. There you go, around there. Now we can mess with this a bit to get it to sit absolutely right. The other, as you can see, the other side sits perfectly. So we'll mess around with this a little bit just to get it to sit exactly where we want it to be. It might be, oh, oh, it's difficult. We might need to just shave that spar just a little bit to get it to sit back a tiny bit better. But I'll see what I can do. So there we go. What I think was the problem was that the spar that goes through here, you just sort of kind of slide it through the body. There's not no sort of specific place. I think if it's not pushed far enough onto this side, it sticks out a bit too much this side, then you can't actually push the wing onto it enough. So I just shaved it down a little bit and shaved it a little bit thinner as well to make it easier. And then, hey presto, it sort of goes into place nicely. The rudder slips into place at the back of the fin. Like so, it's a really, really, really precise fit, I have to say. There we go. I've just used a little bit of extra thin cement in there already. Not the fast drying type for this, because I needed to put the cement on, then put the part on. Likewise for these wing sections, the flaperons, or whatever they call them, flaps, ailerons, and other such devices. They go in here. And they fit rather well, rather snugly. Into the trailing edge of the wing, like so. And the actuator cover goes here. So the next piece is where we decide whether we want the takeoff and landing position of the nose, the drooped nose, or the flight position, which is the horizontal nose. And it all comes down to this part here. If you want the nose drooped, then this part has to be this way round. Okay, so this sort of block sits on this side. If you want the nose retracted in the flight position, then that blocky bit goes into the back, into the fuselage, and there's just this sort of indentation. This is the way around I'm doing it. I want it in the flight position. There we go. Then we put the photo etch into its slots on the wings, these for the wing fences here. Now, I don't know if I'm going to regret this, but I am actually going to put the nose on now before I start painting. Because it's all going to be done in one colour. There's not that many decals to do, and I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope I am not going to mess this up. And once the primer's settled, I can paint the aircraft blue. I'm using the Revell XF8 flat blue because it's a remarkably close match, I think, to aircraft blue. So that's what I'm using. With a couple of coats of blue paint and a coat of varnish, gloss varnish, it's time to start putting the decals on. I'm going to put decals on with the gloss varnish, and then when this is finished, I'll put another coat of gloss over the top so that the decals look as shiny as the rest of the aircraft, which would be right. So they line up. Okay, toe on that one. Yeah, like that. Okay, cool. 3. Okay, the nose leg goes into here, and there's an actuating strut that sort of wraps around it and then sits into slots at the back here. So we'll put those in first. So then it sits on the edge of the nose gear. So let's get this right. Okay. So let's go in there. There we go. Like that. And this sits on the nose gear like that. Sorry. So yeah, so this sort of V brace goes on here, goes around the front of the undercarriage leg here, and sits on a little platform there, and we'll just glue that together. For the main gear, there's a strut that goes on the inside here. We'll just leave that there for a moment. Then we put the main gear leg in. It's got a square peg to make sure it's lined up correctly. Then the strut leans over and attaches to the main leg like that. The gear doors just simply sit on tabs on the side like this. It's the doors just go into their hinges on the sides like so. Quite a few. There's about 4 doors on each undercarriage sides. It's quite a lot. There we go. And then there's a door that goes on the actual undercarriage leg as well. Oh, I see, yeah, okay. Yeah, there's little dots tiny little dots on the leg and on the door, which need to line up, and they really are very small. See if we can do it. About there. Just like that. Then we can put the wheels on the nose gear. These pins for the wheels to sit on are really small, but yeah, they're okay. And you can put the main wheels on as well. Remember, the main wheels have got this half moon alignment peg, so you need to make sure it's lined up properly before it goes on. I think what it is, it's for the brake things at the back. This is I don't know if you can see here. This kind of moulding of the brake things are horizontal. It would have been so much better if they'd have put the feed gate for it here, but there we go. We can tidy that up later on. And so there it is, the Fairey Delta 2 in 1/72nd scale from Dora Wings. I cannot recommend this kit highly enough. It's a thing of beauty. It's so good to build. The fit is really good. The parts are delicate. They feel delicate, and yet they just go together absolutely as they're supposed to. It was a joy to build this. It's a really important aircraft. I probably should be thinking about getting at least another one, maybe 2. It's just an absolute delight to build. If you're into supersonic things that are research aircraft, oddities, the history of aviation, whatever you're into, if you like things that go fast, this is definitely a kit that should be in your stash and then in your build schedule. It's an absolute delight. Dane, thank you so very much for sending it. So there it is. If you've enjoyed the video, please let me know by giving it the Imperial thumbs up on the like button below, and to support the channel at no cost to you, make sure you've subscribed. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you again very soon.